Welcome back to Aliens Watching Reality TV. I'm Erika.
And I'm Frida. I'm not your usual host.
I don't know why I just thought you would barge in there. I guess.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Rude hosting on my part. Although,
yeah, it's like,
hey, Kathy set the bar low, right?
Yeah. Also, haven't I been a guest on this podcast before?
Yes,
I
you
think I
have.
Yeah.
So
they know
this is
me.
Frida. She's our special guest to the special guest host for this season, recapping the Golden Bachelor, which we're wrapping up today with the Golden Wedding.
Yes, a golden wedding time.
I'll just say my immediate short review, my TLDR, loved it.
Yeah, loved it. Wish it would have been more about the actual wedding party.
Yeah, for sure.
That was my general recap.
Yeah, I wonder if this would have been more enjoyable if I was really into the Bachelor franchise as a whole, because there were a lot of people that I just didn't even know who they were. It kind of felt like
That's
going
the
to
thing.
someone else's prom, a different high school.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think it's a me problem where I haven't seen any other full season of The Bachelor, and so yeah, I didn't recognize a single person except the ones that were on the Golden Bachelor. So that's on me.
Yeah, I still think though it's on the producers for
well, they should
not paying more
explain it.
attention
Give
to
me
the
a
people
lower
whose
third.
wedding it is.
Yeah, give me a little name tag or a lower third with John season 8, The Bachelor, or Katie season 2 Bachelorette, whatever.
Yeah, it's pretty funny when I especially remember one guy at one point. He's just tall and has brown hair and pops into the frame and is like, "Hey," and they're all like, "Hey," and he clearly just assumes I'm famous enough. Everyone knows who I am, and I have no idea who that is. But I love the swagger. This must be the arena in which he is famous enough to do that.
Well, he must have been one of the the Bachelor. He was the main character of his season. Because obviously there's a bunch of
main
bachelors.
character of his life.
That too, probably. But I'm sure there was a bunch of bachelors and bachelorettes from there. Obviously people would know them from that season if they watched it. So I assume that those were most of the people we saw. But
yeah,
honestly, who knows? I could just tell that also Kathy was doing her absolute best hosting job, and she was really into him, and he was definitely several decades younger than her, which I loved.
Kathy, I think Kathy's getting flamed a little bit for her hosting, but Kathy did exactly what you could expect Kathy to do. So really, just why was Kathy allowed to be Kathy for so long? I feel like
this is not on Kathy. They put her there. They even gave her a babysitter host. She did not help. And I feel like this was a hard one to host because it was chaos. It was pure chaos. How many people got engaged at the reception? Or not reception.
My God.
Whatever before.
Speaking of people who I don't know who the fuck they are.
Yeah, there was a lot of people there that I was like, what are you doing?
So basically the first half of this TV event is just a red carpet thing for other Bachelor people.
It felt like a reunion red carpet, basically.
Yeah. And so, there's two people I've never seen before. And then there are two things about this I found annoying. First of all, just that the guy proposed at someone else's wedding. That's a no-no. You don't do that.
Yep.
Everyone knows that. But also that he clearly was about to propose, and then everyone still acted really shocked when he got down on one knee and actually did it. That annoyed me doubly. It was the second he started looking in her eyes and giving some speech. I'm like, you motherfucker. And then
he starts stepping away from her a little bit, reaching for his pocket. We all know what's happening.
Yeah. But then when he
And
gets down on one knee, people go, like, "What? I'm
I know.
sorry. You needed more context cues?"
Yes. Also, then afterwards, the actual host of the show, I don't remember his name now, but quickly jumped in to be
Oh,
like,
yeah.
also he got Gary's blessing, I promise.
I was like,
Did he?
"I'm sorry.
Or did production
Gary."
bless it?
Yeah, and, like, when has Gary said,
He's never
"No,"
gonna say no.
like, when's Gary been, like, the bad guy? "No, it's my day." When's
Yeah.
even Gary's been Groomzilla?
But
If
I was
anything,
mad on Gary's behalf.
yeah, me too, and Teresa,
And
and,
Teresa.
um, and, you know, it's not really fair that the whole first half of their own wedding, we barely get to see the couple getting married because they're too busy having to do an extended Amazon commercial.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, did they
Also,
have to
they were
pay for
like,
their own wedding through that Amazon commercial? They're
yes,
like,
they did. They
"Come
worked
on,
hard
bitch.
for
This shit
they're
ain't
like
free."
they're like, anyways, for my Amazon wish list, my Amazon registry, all I kept thinking is all the things that I buy on Amazon that I would not want on my wedding registry. I'm like, there's no like, are you gonna get me plates from Amazon? Are you gonna me like silverware from Amazon or like starter things for your house from like obviously they don't need that necessarily, but like in general, like a wedding registry. What are like why would I want it from Amazon? Is what I'm wondering.
Well, if
I can get a
you're
lot of good
like,
things,
I
but
believe it was her daughter said,
yeah.
"I'm a huge fan of Amazon."
Well,
So,
I
if
yeah.
you were a
I
huge
mean,
fan of Amazon, then you would want that.
yeah, I guess so. I
I think
just
that to me was the most unforgivable part. I'm like, I get it, this is all so much product placement, but don't have someone say, "I'm a huge fan of Amazon." Who has ever said that?
no one
That's
is. Like I
yeah.
think we all agree that we use it to a certain extent even though we don't want to. You
I'm
know,
a
like I
huge
think
fan
that's
of
the
Walmart. Like, nobody
I
says these
know.
things.
Yeah. Like you know what I love? Capitalism.
Yeah. You know what I love? Picking something up in the dirt that's still usable and
You know what I
going
love?
good
Giving
enough,
billionaires more money.
right? You know what I love? Watching Jeff Bezos form a new community on Mars while we choke on the ash of his
Listen, he
empire.
can let him go. Let him explode in space. We'll be here burning up. I'm fine
Yeah.
with that.
Who designed that submarine that imploded? Let's get them to design a
Yeah, I think they
spaceship for
died.
Jeff Bezos.
I think
Oh,
it was
it's too
in
bad.
there.
We gotta
Oh,
go
it's really
into their
well.
blueprints. I'm
I
sure
think
they had some more ideas.
well they have like that second game controller. They had two, so we can get
Yeah.
the other one.
Yeah.
But yeah, he left some blueprints before he died, so we're gonna go with those.
Bezos, we got a cool new project for you. Nobody else has been manly or rich enough to do it. Um,
Build a spaceship with the game controller.
uh,
Anyways, it's enough about Amazon.
I love how right before we recorded this, we were trying to figure out like, how much do we really have to say about the wedding? And I
I'm
was
like,
like,
I don't
we're
have that
definitely
much to
going to go
say.
on some tangents about something. I'm just sure of
Yeah, I
it.
was like, I don't have that much to say. Anyways, Amazon.
We're like, blueprints for submarines. Um, so
Anyway,
yeah, but yeah. So I mean the the bride and groom, they're being good sports. They're working
they're
to
not
pay
even on
for their
camera.
wedding. Yeah. Um,
Barely.
the one thing we do get to see though, which I feel like was totally expected, is that the families are already getting along great, and
Oh
um,
yeah.
I'm
Mhm.
already losing track of like who's related to who. Honestly,
Yeah, I honestly can't tell. I mean, I can tell because Gary's daughters look like him, but it's all blending together. They
yeah,
look like the female like when they were holding their speeches for him and then they cut back and forth from him to them. I was like, you have his face. This is his
yeah,
face on your
yeah.
body.
Oh gosh. Speaking of though, their bridesmaids
Oh,
dresses.
I just thought about
Teresa,
yeah.
was that your decision? Because
No, that
like,
was Amazon.
ooh, Amazon. That's your best bridesmaid dress. um,
No, those are bad. Though, like that doesn't look good on anyone. It doesn't
yeah,
matter.
that
No
feels
one's gonna
like
look good in that.
like, in a rom-com, there will be like, a bridezilla will get bridesmaids dresses that she knows are gonna look bad just so that
Yeah.
everyone else looks worse than her, and, like, that's the kind of dress that bridezilla would get, you know? Like,
Yeah. And that's the Teresa's
obviously
not like
bad.
that.
Yeah,
Teresa's
no
not like
way.
that. She would never. So I don't think Teresa picked these out. I think some PA did and said that's
I
good enough.
think I think there is a perfectly good chance that Teresa just has that bad of taste and she did pick
Yeah.
them. It's like,
No.
I love
No.
Teresa, but she some you know, sometimes you just don't know. Well, that's the thing. I think feel like what we learned throughout the season is if you are trying to figure out is Teresa doing something um s- with sinister intent or um just not having any idea that it might look like sinister intent. It's always the latter. There's
Let's ask Kathy.
there's not. Yeah, let's have the person who made you cry and bullied you all season host your
She
wedding.
can answer this.
I,
Nothing. I know that you brought up later, and I remember like Teresa saying this that Teresa liked Kathy, and that's why she was upset. But at first, I was like, why on earth is the person that made you cry and was horrible to you the person host, like the main character of your wedding, really? Because she was on
yeah,
screen more than they were, to be honest.
yeah. I I yeah. I do feel like in general, I don't think like all of like oh, come on, all the ladies don't need to be there. Like, um, I don't think
No.
I don't
Also,
think
it
we
felt a little
needed to
sad.
torture Leslie with that. Like,
Yeah, it just
um,
felt a little sad when and I swore I heard this, but they interviewed Ellen, and someone complimented the host complimented her earrings, and she said something about like how Gerry had given them to her or something like that,
yeah.
or something she was wearing was given to her by Gerry, and it's just like you're at his wedding. This is just sad at this point. But then she
The-
brought up how great that she had been doing because she'd been dating and stuff. So like great for Ellen, but it's just a little sad to be like, here are all my exes. Let's interview them before my wedding. Like it's weird.
yeah, yeah, and I feel like a lot of them like clearly totally like fine. There's no awkwardness there,
Yeah,
but
sure, but
like some of them,
the top 5, I would say, except Susan.
yeah,
Susan needs to come. But,
yeah. Well, like
everyone
I'll
else,
say
top 3.
particularly Leslie, and I'm not a Leslie fan. Anyone who has heard any of my recaps knows this,
I think we
but
both know neither
still,
of us are.
even disliking her, the
Mhm.
way I do, I would not want to inflict this upon her. This experience, I think
No.
this
I
would
don't know why
suck
she went.
a lot
Is
of
it part of her
ass.
contract?
It must be contractually obligated. Because then also she says the reason that she's there is because she's friends with Teresa, um,
Mm,
which I just have 2 thoughts about that. 1, if that's true, then I just feel bad for Teresa that like, come on, Teresa, your 2 friends were Kathy and
the worst friends. You had so many
yeah,
good options. Like,
like
you could have had Sandra and
you need
Susan.
to learn when your friends don't like you. It's a it's a hard thing to learn, um, but and it's weird, but it's true. Sometimes your
Yeah.
friends don't like you, and I know,
Yeah.
Teresa, you're thinking, What? Like, why would they be my friend then? I'm friends with people because I like them." Well, you make sense, Teresa. Not everyone does.
That's true.
So yeah, if that's true that like Leslie is Teresa's friend, then that's kind of sad. Um, because also, I guess it's skipping ahead a little bit.
Mhm.
Leslie's facial expressions during the wedding are not the facial
I
expressions of a supportive friend.
That's not your best friend being so touched and moved that you're getting married.
Yeah, yeah,
That's,
and
a jealous ex.
yeah, that's a she's fuming. Um,
Yeah, let's just say
like
that.
she's cutting up pictures of you guys when she gets home.
She has a
Um,
burn book.
yeah, she has to go to the FedEx Kinko's and print it out because she's like, I'm old. I need paper copies of these pictures.
Yeah, also,
For
she calls it Kinko's only, not FedEx.
Uh, yeah.
Let's be real.
And now it's just FedEx. It's not even Kinko's at all, but
Well, she would call it
I'm
Kinko's, so
I
that's what
know,
I'm
but I'm saying
saying.
I'm showing my age by calling it FedEx Kinko's. It's
Well,
humiliating.
busted. Yeah.
Busted. Um, but yeah, so I just feel like, we shouldn't have even put her through that. Like, some of the ladies, it just
Yeah.
felt a little bit too much like inflicting emotional torture.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
because like, sometimes there are certain things that are too much to ask, of people, and
Yes.
and like and my bar, honestly, I feel like is I don't know if I wanna say high or low because I can't figure out
Okay.
which makes sense in this context, but, like, I would say there are a lot of times people let themselves off the hook when I think they shouldn't,
Mhm.
where, like,
Sure.
like, you can't pull it together to be friendly or polite to somebody or get over your own feelings for a moment, like, there's a lot of times when I feel like, "Come on,
Sure.
just, um, just be an adult." But
Yeah.
this
Sure.
is a time when I'm like, "No, even I'm not gonna
Yeah,
I'm
I
not gonna say
wouldn't.
grin and bear it for
Mhm.
this, like, this is too much. This
Yeah.
is too much."
Yeah. Yeah. No, this is the one time where I'm like, you don't need to put your big boy pants on. You can just go home. You know?
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Like, this at this point, the big boy pants have, like, they've been overworn, and
There's holes in them.
you
Yeah.
deserve to send them to dry cleaning and,
Yeah.
take a nap.
Yeah.
Um,
Exactly.
Also,
But
like
also
what?
no, go ahead.
I was just gonna
Go
say, like,
ahead.
and, like, I don't like, the Saw movies,
Yeah.
I
Me
like
either.
horror movies, but I don't like the Saw kind of movies 'cause I don't like watching people get tortured. So, I don't like watching people get tortured emotionally either. I really don't. Um,
Yeah. It's not my
so,
jam.
especially watching people, like, try and pretend they're fine. Um
When they're clearly not.
Yeah, and when it's just like, "Who's this for? Why are we doing this to this person? Let her go
Contractual
home."
obligations at the beginning of the
Yeah,
season. That's what it's
yeah,
called. But yeah, no, I feel bad for her, honestly, but I
yeah.
was the only one I needed there was Susan. Susan is
Okay, yeah.
my everything. Susan is my shining star.
Yeah.
I would die for
W
Susan. I'm
we've
just
we've had
gonna put it out
multiple conversations about, like, what if
there.
Susan, like, wants to be our life partner? Will we break up? Like,
And the answer
would
is
I
yes.
leave Frida for Susan? Would Frida leave me for Susan? And,
Yes.
yeah,
If you're
we keep
listening,
coming back to
Susan,
yes, but also we're really leaning hard on, like, "Come on, Susan, like, l
we could
group
be
love."
a throuple, yeah.
Exactly.
Uh, a
Um,
platonic throuple, whatever you want, Susan. Honestly, if you're here this, whatever you want.
yeah, we'll do some kisses.
I'm
Uh,
not us, but it's her.
uh,
But
I'm
yeah,
just kidding.
whatever
I'm a
Susan
nun.
wants.
Saving
See,
myself
that's
for
also
Jesus.
for Susan.
But yeah, Susan was great.
Yes.
Susan also, I think Susan balanced the, like, self-deprecating humor and the, like, calling out the awkwardness of the situation in the way that the other ladies thought they were doing,
Yeah.
but failed at, like, 'cause she addressed it, she made a little joke, and then she moved on to let the focus be on the couple. Um,
Yeah. Well,
and
didn't you say she does this for a living, basically? Like, she works in the wedding
yeah,
industry, right? So,
yeah, that's
she's good at
yeah, and I didn't know that she actually, like, did the officiating, but, her little, uh, like, identification card on the show always said, like, what in the wedding industry, so, um,
Yeah.
it makes sense that she's good at I mean, she's great at it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
also you can
She's been to
tell,
many weddings.
like, she it's so genuine. She loves them. She's so happy for them. Like,
Yeah.
there's no residual weirdness or anything there. That's exactly how it should be, you know?
Yeah, totally.
Um,
Yeah, I mean, she
like
cried so much. Like, she was, like, on the
yeah.
verge of tears, but I don't think she actually cried. I think she held it together because I didn't really see her, she didn't totally break, which was impressive. I would have never been able to.
Honestly, nobody sobbed as much as, like, I would have probably.
I would have been one word in and been like, "I can't talk anymore,"
Yeah.
bawling my eyes out.
I've just learned from experience that, like,
Yeah, I
uh,
can't.
yeah, even yeah, whether it's me pledging love or watching someone I love pledge their love, I start crying immediately. Like, I'm
Yeah,
I am a
no,
sucker.
I can't. I know, yeah, from experience, I cannot speak. Like, a couple words, maybe,
Yeah.
but that would be at best.
Um, yeah. But the the couple, they held it together well. I mean, I feel like anyone who doubts, like, the genuine just reality of uh Gerry and Theresa's bond is just
Mhm.
like a hater for no reason, because
Yeah,
I feel like they seem like a couple this seems like a couple's 10-year vow renewal kind of vibe. You know,
it
like
does. Yeah, they
this
definitely are made for each other.
yeah. Like these definitely feel like people who are yeah, exactly. Who just they are made for each other. Um I did love it in Gary's vows. He said he specifically called out, like, he said, like, I'm as sure about this now as I was in that moment in Costa Rica when I told you I loved you. And I just love that because, like, uh we've I've talked about it, you know, on the podcast before, but like that moment um
Mhm.
of his date with Teresa in Costa Rica where, like, it it just everything changed. Like, it hit me as a viewer, and it just was
Mhm.
like, oh, holy shit, he loves her now. Like, he's looking at her and talking to her the way you talk to somebody you love. And
Mm.
um it was so cool to see, like, yeah, that moment was that real. It's so real that, like,
Yeah.
he's mentioning it in his speech because, like, it clearly it felt just like that for them to experience, and that feeling was so strong that I could see it and feel it
Mhm.
through the TV. Like, that is just something, I don't know. That's like it feels almost supernatural. Like, that's just neat.
Yeah. No, it really is.
Because also, I'm not somebody, I'm like, I'm an empath. Like,
What?
so I feel like, it's uh like, yeah, the moment had to be so fucking genuine to, like, come out and wallop me in the face with it like that.
Yeah, totally. It has to be real obvious.
Exactly. Um, so yeah, I'm trying to think if oh gosh, the the hostess with the mostest, the hoster with the moster. Um, what is his name? I'm blanking on it, but the host
Oh, that,
who
like, the actual host that's been out through the season?
yeah, apparently he was about to have a baby.
I know, but also at first, the way he said it when it started sounded like she's in labor right now, and I'm just here hosting, waiting for the baby to come out.
I know.
That wasn't the
You
case,
you were, like, mad
but
on
that's what it.
his wife's behalf. You're like,
Well,
"He should not be there. He should be at her side." And I was like,
yeah. Well, clearly, like, he's in Palm Springs. The wedding's in Palm Springs. He
yeah.
he must live in LA. That's
Yeah.
at least what 2.5 hours or something. 2 hours to Palm Springs. I don't know, but
Yeah,
with the
3, I
like
think, yeah.
3 even maybe, but
I
and also with,
yeah.
like, evening traffic, like, he wouldn't be if she had contractions right then, he wouldn't be make it home for the baby, like, It's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
I guess love it. I guess it just depends too, because I like, my mom was in labor with me for like 20 hours or something.
Sure. But also, like,
Um
then you're leaving your wife alone in labor for even if the baby
oh,
doesn't
yeah.
come, you
No,
know,
I'm with
either
you.
way.
I guess I interpreted it as just like she could go into labor like any day, because
Yeah.
so maybe not even today, but I love that you jumped right to her defense. She's this like hypothetical person who
I have no idea
exists.
who she is.
Yeah, she's like
I'm not.
exists as a little stock image in my mind of like woman, because we don't know anything about her besides she's about to have a baby. Well, she probably had it
Yeah.
by now.
Also, I was slightly surprised that he wasn't gay, but that's besides the point.
Um,
Um,
yeah,
he's giving. He's. My gaydar is going off. It's not always great, but usually I'm right.
it gets a little confusing with some of the Bachelor dudes.
Yeah, it does. I have noticed that, and maybe that's why I don't like to watch it because it's confusing.
Yeah, like I can see why they didn't realize that Colton was gay, just because like so many of the bachelors seem pretty gay.
Yeah.
Um yeah, no, I agree. And also the couple that got engaged in the beginning, the guy's wearing like
Yeah.
his long earrings and stuff, and at the
Listen,
very
wear whatever
least is
you want.
appropriating queer like
Yeah.
aesthetics, you
Well,
know?
listen, hey, I'm all for like expressing your femininity through fashion, but um you are with the straightest of straight girls, let's just say that. And then he's wearing like a cowboy hat with like sparkly earrings and then being like, "We're moving to Tennessee." And I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah. I
It might
think
be
that just means
quite the
like
adjustment from
you're
LA.
queer, but you grew up in a red state, so you're not gonna explore that
Well,
side of
I'm
yourself.
just hoping, I don't know who he is. I'm hoping he's
Me
bi,
neither.
like,
Yeah,
but
and
he was
obviously,
very into this girl, so
uh, or he's very into
yeah.
being on TV. I don't know. We don't know these people at all. This is
Yeah,
so much
I feel like
conjecture.
they're both, I mean, they both have been on the show, I assume, so they're both clearly like that.
Yeah. Okay, the host who was about to have
The
a
guy.
baby, I
Mhm.
think one of the reasons he seems gay is because he's appropriating Magic Mike aesthetics. Like,
Yeah, he is.
it's just any guy who's like uh spending that much time at the like tanning salon and the gym and the waxer. It's like
Yeah,
just
maybe he's,
is he gay
Chippendale,
or is he just stealing the gay aesthetic?
or did he
That's
used to
the
be a
real
Chippendale and
controversy.
he retired,
He's
Because
a retired Chippendale. Honestly,
yeah,
he totally looks like he could be a retired Chippendale.
I think so. I think he fits this, like, he could still work if he wanted to, but clearly he got a better job?
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm not saying he's aged out or nothing.
No, he just retired to be on
I love
be
a
the
wide
Bachelor.
variety of Chippendales dancers. Never been to a Chippendale show, but I'm
Me
totally
neither.
supportive. We
Well,
watched
we saw the
the we
documentary.
watched the
Or not,
miniseries on
yeah.
Hulu, so
Yes.
I'm a big fan.
Yeah, huge fan.
Um, you're right. It's the Chippendales aesthetic. It's anytime somebody has a
Like, if
Chippendales
you
aesthetic,
put a
it just
collar
doesn't
on him with
seem.
a little bow tie and those cuffs, he would fit right in.
Oh man, it's so funny because like he's the host of the show. We can't even remember his
I
name.
know. But also, to be fair, he did very little hosting this season. This is the most hosting he has done since the reunion and the wedding. The most
Yeah,
hosting he's done all season. Because before, on the actual show,
Gary was
Gary
having a
Gary
host of his own
hosted,
show. It was
and
a
he
little
would pop in
weird.
and go, "Time to make a decision, ladies," and then he went out,
Yeah, I was
and
like,
Gary
wait,
was just
what?
still standing there.
Do you even know what's happening? Why are you telling them to make a decision? You haven't even been paying attention. You haven't been here. Yeah, Gary's having to like corral his own ladies. Isn't the point of a host so Gary doesn't have to corral his own
Usually,
ladies?
at least stand with the Bachelor while he's like handing out roses, I think. But he didn't even do that. He just popped in and went, "Make a decision," and then left.
Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty
It
pretty
was
weird.
hilarious. Yeah.
Um, I will say though, yeah, and like so because of that in part, like we just got very little uh exposure to him as a host, his personality and stuff. So my
Yeah.
favorite hosting moment of his was actually um the I think it's the reunion episode, but it's like the first time, or I don't know,
Mhm.
whatever it is, the first time he really sits down and like does some longer interviews with them, and he started
Yeah.
crying a little bit, and I thought he was faking it at first. I was like,
No.
"Ah, faking feel your feelings," and then I looked closer and I was like, "Oh wait, no, he is crying. Like it
Yeah.
is real." And then I realized he's having a real feeling. He's absolutely having a real feeling.
Yeah.
Um, he had just been such a like host, just like
Mhm.
personalityless host the whole time
Well,
that
all I saw, which clearly didn't make an impression, was his, like, little name pop up and his age every time, and
oh,
that's all
yeah.
I remember because he was, like, 44 or something. I don't
Yeah.
remember his name.
Yeah, like
But every time
42.
they
I
were
was like,
like,
"Do we need to know his age
"Rick,
too? Like, is that part
44."
of"
I'm like, "Why? Why do I need to
Yeah.
know that? I don't need
Yeah.
to know that."
I'm like, do they always do that on The Bachelor? Like,
I don't think so. Do they do that with every host? Because it's kind of me. But I guess
right? Like,
maybe they
that's
do that on all seasons because they also like to, like, show I feel like from watching a few episodes of like the normal Bachelor, that they will show the girls' age and stuff too, but I
yeah.
could be wrong.
Yeah. Because well, I'm thinking back to Demi's season, which is the only one I
Yeah.
watched, and she was 23 and,
Does it
they
say it next to her
they
name?
had well, they had had her say some things, about, like, the women in their 30s, um,
Oh, yeah, you're
and
right, I remember
about how I don't know, she was gonna go cougar hunting or something like that,
that.
um,
Oh
and
god.
when I asked her about it later, she's like, "Oh my god, the producers made me say that." Like, "Oh, yeah, that makes sense." Um,
Yeah.
so, yeah. So, yes, their ages are up, which
Yeah. But it just felt
is
odd for some reason with the host. I'm like, "We don't need to know he's not
it's
part of the
true.
show."
It is
Like,
odd.
he's not dating
Like
someone, so
yeah, when and it they should have done it like all the flash mob dancers, like, put their names and ages down below, and,
so many
the
names pop up the
limousine
screen.
driver, how old is he,
Yes.
the
Exactly.
guy driving the boat, what about the helicopter captain? Like, we need to know these
Yeah, what
things.
about him?
If
What if he's
ages matter, then they should
46?
always matter. Yeah, is 46 old enough to be a helicopter captain? Let's decide. Um, Golden
Captain? Clearly
helicopter
on
pilot,
a
that's
You
um,
said helicopter cap?
I don't know.
Listen.
Listen, the first time I said it, it was an accident, and then the second time I said it, I did just kinda say it
Listen,
again because it sounded
it was
fun
fun.
to me, but,
I
in
think it should be
general,
paid.
yes, it's called a helicopter pilot, but who cares what, um
Captain of that helicopter, I don't care.
yeah, if anything, I'm conferring respect upon
Yeah.
that helicopter captain.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so you're welcome,
Mhm.
helicopters of the
However
world.
old you are.
Yeah, hopefully over 46. That's really should be the bare minimum age in my opinion.
For everyone in a helicopter.
Yeah. 46
Yep.
to 53 is the perfect age to be a
You
helicopter
aged
pilot.
out at
I
53.
yeah, it's a narrow range. You have to work really, really hard to get there, and then you have 7 years of just, like, prime helicopter piloting, and then
And
you
then you're
should
out.
retire immediately. And,
Yep.
um, and that might sound harsh, but really
Guess it is.
more people should take my advice, All of the
Yeah.
problems that have ever happened in helicopters probably could have been avoided if they took my advice.
Listen, it may sound harsh because it
Because
is.
it is, and in fact, it shouldn't be said at all. What's
Yeah.
happening? What's happening to this conversation?
Uh,
Um, anyways,
um, anyways,
uh,
back to the beautiful bride and groom that
yeah,
didn't have much much in the, like, attention in this episode, to be honest.
I know we've really
Not enough.
barely
We saw
talked.
the ceremony. Can I just say the ceremony was so
Yes, please, let's
short.
please talk about the ceremony. It's true. It's not really our fault we haven't talked about it that much. It was very
No, the
short.
ceremony was 2 minutes, like, max.
Yeah. It was very pretty. It looked really nice.
Yeah, it looked beautiful. But, like, it
Um,
was their where it was, like, his daughters all the children had speeches, and then they
yeah,
had
that
their
was kind of
vows.
funny, like, you take the speeches that would normally be at the reception and put them
Yeah.
in the
The
ceremony
wedding.
just 'cause, like, "This is the TV part, so you gotta do it
Yeah,
now."
yeah, and then they did their vows, and basically that was it.
Yeah. Um, I love the little ring bearer boy.
Oh, yeah,
Uh,
he was so
I love how tightly they tied those rings onto that pillow, and they were like, "Cannot trust this kid."
do not trust him, but also, listen, he did say, "I'm a kid." I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Oh
Was
my god. That was at the beginning of this episode. Oh gosh.
was it? Yeah,
Yes.
I don't
I'm
remember if it
so
was
glad
this
you
episode.
reminded me
Yeah.
because, yeah, Gerry asks Teresa's grandkids, he says, like, um, "I I think I wanna marry your grandma. What do you guys think?" And one of the grandkids goes, "You know, we're just children, really."
I'm like, "You're
Like,
right, bud, you're
that's
right."
not like those aren't our decisions to make. Like, I don't know why you're
Yeah,
asking us,
yeah,
which is the absolutely correct. What do you
yeah,
like, why is he asking you?
yeah,
Um,
you know, you're just a child.
yeah, the only thing you even know about marriage is stuff that's just been, you know, conditioned into your mind through your society or explicitly conditioned from your family. You don't even know what you
Yeah,
think yet. Like,
exactly.
we're just
No,
children,
no, he was
really.
absolutely right, and then they put those 2 little kids, which are max 5 and 7, like, in an
Yeah.
interview, like
Yeah.
uh, just commentary interviews, and I don't know which producer said, "Put them in,"
Yeah,
'cause
let's
my
keep
god,
interviewing the 5-year-old, but,
yeah,
like, I support it because that kid
he's
is
a star.
yeah, he's mostly a star in how much he's like, "I'm not the star here, why are you talking to me?" Like,
He's like,
he's
"I don't know, just
he's
leave me alone."
yeah. Like, "I'm a child." There's just something always funny about when a kid calls themselves a kid because 'cause you're like, "You're right, you are one," because,
Yeah, you're
uh,
correct.
so often kids wanna, like like, my little brother, when he was 4, he called himself a 4-year-old adult,
Which is
which was
adorable.
the most adorable thing in the whole world, um,
Mhm.
so but I always love
He's
it when
not
kids are
wrong.
like, "Actually, you know, I am a kid. I don't really know about that."
Yeah, no, I love it.
That's how I feel too. Honestly, why is anyone even listening to my opinion on this wedding? I'm really just a child. We're just
Yeah,
children.
really? Leave me alone, please.
Click, that's the end of the podcast. Just kidding.
Yep.
Um, yeah, so I guess only other thing I would have to say is that, um, I did it definitely felt like, you know, this is Gerry and Teresa's, like this is their real ceremony. They're not like
Yeah,
I feel like they've already kinda made the transition where they're like their relationship is for real life now, and they're not
yeah,
playing to the TV as much as they're playing to each other, like,
yeah,
um,
totally.
and that feels healthy.
Yeah. No, they seem genuinely so happy, so I'm
Yeah.
glad.
I'm happy for them, I really am. Um,
Me?
even though, gosh, I have, you know, some real, uh, just like moral problems with the entire concept of marriage, but that's neither hither nor thither. Um,
Yep. Yeah.
uh, I still think, yeah, the just whoa. I wonder if you could hear my stomach growling on the microphone because it just growled really
No,
loud
I
because
could
we're
not.
recording this before dinner instead of after.
Yep,
Um,
and
but no, I mean, oh god. Okay, sorry, one more thing is I did find myself thinking at one point, like, imagining them, like, in 10 years and how, like, yikes, like, your 70s, your 80s are, like, a really big difference, and then Susan said it, like, almost right afterwards. She just said something about, like,
she did, yeah.
10 years from now, and they were a little bit like, "Ooh, I don't know that I wanna think about that," and I was like, "Yeah, that just in a way, like, part of it, I was like, "Damn, feel sad for them." They don't have that much time together to, like,
No, they don't,
be who they
which is
are
sad.
right now, do the things, like, because just realistically, you know,
Yeah,
health
and
problems and shit like that, like, they will happen, and so,
yeah, especially as
um
you, like, hit your 80s or mid-80s, like, it's gonna
yeah.
be
Like, my grandpa,
independent.
uh, in my family, you either just, like, kick the bucket real soon or you're really healthy and you live a long time. Um,
Mhm.
and so I've got one grandparent, everyone else kicked the bucket real early, but he's so super healthy, he, like, runs every day, well, he always has. Um, and, he was, like, the envy of his, like, 40th high school reunion because he was the only one who could still fit in, like, his high school graduation outfit or whatever. Um, but, like, now he's 85 and he just had to have open heart surgeries. Like, it comes for us all.
Yeah, no, it does, and also, like, 'cause also, I mean, I'm glad they're doing, taking advantage of this time, but yeah, it is a little sad to think, like,
Yeah.
they're
You're
on a
like,
time
"Ooh,
where they
let's
can't be
not even
independent.
waste time thinking about them 10 years from now. Just get out there and enjoy
Just
it.
go do
Enjoy
it,
every moment. What are you
and they're gonna
tagging
learn
us for? Get out of
they're gonna
here."
learn Italian, travel to Italy, they've got lots to
Yeah.
do.
It's true. They better start learning Italian pretty quick because, yeah,
It takes a while to
realistically, they
learn.
don't have that long to use it.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry, I'm a morbid fucker. But I wish them long and happy lives, and you know what? Maybe they'll have 30 years together, and that's pretty long.
They could,
Like,
yeah. That's a long time.
even,
That's
lots of
basically all
people,
of our lives.
they get married in their 20s, and they still only have 5 years together because they just get divorced, so, like, you know?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
They've got
but I mean, if they've
they've
got
got as
30
good as
years together, that's as long as
yeah.
we've been alive, basically. Like, that's a long enough time.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. They might have one whole more lifetime as far as we're concerned left in them.
Mhm.
That's cool.
Yep.
Alright, well, I don't need to feel bad for them. Good for them.
Yeah.
Good for them. Um, any final thoughts on the golden wedding or, um,
Um,
your renewed belief in the power of love?
well, I have a closing message for Susan if you listen to this, please message me.
Okay, take it away, Frida.
That's all I've got. No, but it was a great, wedding, and I'm happy for them. And also, Susan, call me.
Uh, Susan, you want to be on the podcast? No ulterior motives
I
here.
have tried to pitch this idea to you. You should reach out to
I know,
her,
and I
and
said it's a really good idea. And
you
then I
never
don't
did.
know. I'm
We
also
could do a
like,
post-wedding podcast like she talked about the ceremony.
yeah. No, I think that's a
I'll
great
co-host.
idea. Well, it's just, I'm the person who, like, when the front doorbell rings, I hide and you go open it. So, like,
So you're saying
yeah,
I need to reach out to Susan. She doesn't need to call me, I need to call her.
yes, that is what I
No.
mean.
Okay, great.
Uh,
I'll see what I can do. I'll talk to my connections.
Wee! All right, we love you, Susan. I mean, we love you,
Yeah.
Gary and Teresa.
Congrats, Gerry and Theresa.
Congratulations. And congratulations to everyone who's in love and who is not in love. Congratulations to all of you. You're all doing pretty good. Um,
Yep.
Thanks so much for listening. And it's only 1 month until Love is Blind is back. So,
Woo!
um, don't
Can't
worry.
wait.
Yeah, let's all start getting hype now. Now, now,
Right,
now.
right now.
All right. Well, I don't know if you remember. I don't even know how we ended up doing this sign off, but we always do it.
Okay.
Till death do us part. And then you
I don't
say amen. That's
Oh, amen. Oh, you do
yeah.
that for every show
Yeah.
too.
I don't know why.
Okay.
I don't even know what it means really. Well, I
I
mean,
should
I know what
maybe
it
'cause
means, but it doesn't always make sense in the context
what
in
does
which
it
we use it.
mean? Yeah, no, it doesn't, but I love it.
Yes. So anyways,
Also,
dear
you should
lovely audience. What, Frida?
You need to tell them to like subscribe to the podcast, leave a review, do all the things, go to their Patreon and subscribe. You need to promote here, Erika. What are you doing?
I mean, honestly, I should have done that at the beginning of the episode. That's like,
yeah. Well, oh well.
Yeah.
You do now.
I mean, I have an outro in which
okay, great.
It says that stuff. Yeah.
Cool.
Well, wow, Frida, you've never listened to an episode of my podcast all the way through.
Never made it to the end.
Woo! Okay.
Positive before that outro. So,
do you know my middle name? What's my favorite color? No. What is my favorite color? I don't know.
Sunset yellow.
You got me.
Yes.
And then everyone's cracking my passwords for my secret question.
Just sunset. Everything is sunset.
Sunset yellow. Okay. Well, dear audience, thank you so much for being here. Until death do us part.
Amen.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Aliens Watching Reality TV is hosted by Erika Heidewald and Josh Shahryar. It's produced and edited by Erika Heidewald, that's me. And our theme song is Just World by Erika Heidewald, which is also me. Available for streaming on iTunes and Spotify. For $5 a month, you can subscribe to our Patreon and get an extra full-length episode of the podcast every week. Right now, we're covering Love is Blind Season 1. We'd love to hear from you. Our social media links are in the episode notes, or you can write to us at alienswatchingrealitytv@gmail.com. Thank you for listening, and as always, until death do us part. Amen. Welcome to the world. Let me tell you what I've learned about